So today I'm going to show you the two most common driver mistakes that I see average golfers make. I've given a couple of lessons on driver this week. One guy, I was able to get him to hit the ball 20 meters further, and all from one of these two mistakes. So there are two. There are lots of mistakes, but these are the two most common mistakes I see. And the first mistake is to do with a lot of other YouTube golf channels. So I know a lot of people look at YouTube. You're looking at YouTube now. And some YouTube golf coaches say that when you hit a driver, we have to make sure that we tilt our shoulders and we get our head in behind the ball. I won't say that's wrong, but I will say that that gets misinterpreted. So I'm a big believer in thinking about nose position. So if I was playing a shot from the grass with whatever club, my nose position in my setup should be located over the middle of my stance. And the ball position should be in the middle of my stance, because that's where the club reaches the bottom of the arc. You want your nose directly over that so that we can hit ball then turf. Now it could be a ball width in front, but it's roughly in the middle of our stance. We think about a child on a swing. Where is the child traveling fastest? It's at the bottom. Where is the bottom? It's halfway between the struts of the swing. Where's the bottom of our golf swing? It's at the bottom of the arc. Where is the bottom of the arc? It's basically halfway between our feet. So when we're playing shots from the grass, the nose should be over the middle of my stance. When we have a driver in our hands, we use a golf tee. We tee the ball up higher, so the bigger the driver head, the higher we tee it, the further to our left we tee the ball. So it's left heel. For some people, I would encourage them to go further forward than that. And when we do that, we also tee the ball higher. But if I put that ball position now so as it's on my left heel, where should my nose be? Well, it's behind the ball, yes, but my nose position should still be in the middle of my stance. It hasn't changed. And the bottom of my arc is going to be in the middle of my stance. From that point on, the club is on the rise. So we're teeing the ball up so that when the club is on the rise, it's meeting the ball at the right height. And we can get the ball launching up in the air. That's why we use a tee. It's why we move our ball forward. I see a lot of people saying, yeah, I've got to really make sure I tilt my left shoulder higher so that now my nose position is closer to my right foot than the middle. Now, the problem with that is it's very difficult to turn the upper body and the body correctly from that position, because you've tilted so far, it's restrictive. And it creates a lot of problems. So I see a lot of people doing this, and what ends up happening is they're here and they get a flatter shoulder turn, the club comes inside, and it's a real struggle to get the ball or the club back onto the ball. So then they go outside to try and give themselves room to hit it. And we get that nice big out to in swing, big slice, or if they release, pull hook. If we look at it again, so I've got the ball positioned forward in my stance, left heelish. When I take my grip, my left hand is high on the grip, my right hand is below, and in doing that, I create shoulder tilt. There's no value in me tilting even more, because it just puts me in a position where I can't turn properly. So that's the first big mistake that I see. All we need to do is make sure that our nose is over the middle of my stance. My left hand is higher on the club than the right hand, so I have shoulder tilt. I don't need to do anything else. And from there, all I need to do is hit the ball. And I think if you can do that, you're going to find you're going to help improve. Now, the guy that I spoke of that I gave him 20 more meters, he was actually hitting down on the ball. I got my Flight Scope Mevo out And I said to him, do you feel like you're hitting up or hitting down? He said, I'm definitely hitting up. And I showed him the numbers. He was hitting down on the ball 3.5 degrees. And that really surprised him because he felt like he was hitting up. Now, the reality was, he was hitting up at some point. Because if we think about it, the golf swing, the club is descending, so it's coming downwards. It then shallows out at the bottom, and then at some point it comes up. Now, the problem with this particular client is he had the ball too far back in his stance. So because of his ball position, and he thought it was off his left heel, he had it almost in the middle of his stance. So yes, his angle of attack was downward. So what did I do? And he thought he needed a golf swing change. He told me all the things prior to the lesson that he thought he needed to do. The reality was, I got him to move the ball position forward. I teed the ball up a little bit because he was hitting down on it. And when you hit down on it, when the ball's high, you're going to sky it. So he'd worked out and he'd adapted that if by teeing the ball down, he could still hit a decent shot, but it was killing his distance and he wasn't getting the right flight. So all I did is I moved his ball forward in his stance. He thought it was being played off his left little toe, but all I did is moved it to his heel. We teed the ball up a little bit more and I just watched him swing and it was 20 meters further. No other change, it was just that simple. So, and he's a good golfer, but he'd been losing distance because he'd been moving the ball back in his stance, teeing the ball lower, okay? So that deals with that first thing. The second biggest mistake I see average golfers make with the driver is they take their setup, and in fairness, most people have their feet aiming too far to the right. But let's just say that's not too bad. The biggest mistake they do is their shoulders are aiming too far left, and they don't realize it. They think that they're aiming straight. So from here, this is pretty much what I see. So with my shoulders aiming down here in the left-hand trees, guess which way my swing path is going to tend to be? I'm going to be swinging pretty much in line with my shoulders, and I'm going to be coming down steeper and hitting down on the ball. That's going to produce a high spinning, not high, but high spinning shot. I'm hitting down, you'll tend to tee the ball down, it's going to start left and then continue out to the right, or if I release properly, it's going to create a massive pull hook. We don't want either of those. So what I get, most of the people that I see, and this is well over 80% of the people that I see hitting drivers, have this problem where their shoulders are pointing so far left. So I get them to square up their shoulders, and immediately when I get them squaring up their shoulders, they say to me, I'm aiming at the right-hand trees. And that's what it feels like because they've been so used to being left. So they think it's there, but it's not. I've closed their shoulders to match their feet to get them square. I haven't closed it. We've just moved the shoulders to match the feet. And that's all we're trying to do. But if we are wrong, I think it's pretty good that if you're going to err on the side of being a little bit too far right with your shoulders, because then it's going to encourage you to come down on the inside and getting out. It's going to slightly shallow out your downswing. It's going to then make it easier for you to get the ball spinning right to left. As soon as we get our shoulders left, we're going to come down steeper. And when we come down steeper, it's also outside, and we're going to get that shape here, at least with our shoulders a little bit too far closed. Should try and fix the microphone, it came out then. So we try and get our shoulders just a fraction closed. From there, we can come down on the inside, we can release, and it's giving us the best chance of hitting the ball right to left. Not that everyone should, but if we can get the ball spinning less left to right, you're going to hit it straighter and you're going to hit it further. So we'll see how we go. Ball position's right, nose position's right, shoulders nice and square with my target. And the ball starts right, starts drawing a little bit, and that's turned into a nice drive. So they're the two most common mistakes. There are lots more, but these are the two most common. Make sure that your nose is over the middle of your stance. Don't tilt the shoulders, we don't need that. Just the shoulders are already going to tilt if you have a correct grip with the left hand above the right. And then make sure that we have nice square shoulders in our setup. It's going to give you the best chance to hit a decent golf shot. If you want to improve your golf, I'm going to put a link to another video just up here that I know is going to help you improve your golf.